What if you're not just a human being having a spiritual experience, but a fragment of God Himself, trapped in a prison of flesh, caught in a cosmic war between light and darkness that has been raging since before time began? What if the physical world isn't your home but your cage, and somewhere deep in your cells, particles of pure divine light are waiting to be freed? This was the teaching of Mani, a Persian prophet who founded one of the most successful religions in human history, a faith that once stretched from the Roman Empire to China, a faith that counted Saint Augustine among its followers for nearly a decade, a faith so dangerous to established powers that they executed its founder, stuffed his skin with straw, and hung it at the city gates as a warning. They spent 1,000 years trying to wipe Manichaeism from the earth. They almost succeeded. Almost. Today, we're going to resurrect the forgotten teaching of light and darkness. We're going to explore one of the most dramatic cosmologies ever conceived, a vision of reality as cosmic battlefield, of matter as demonic trap, and of the human soul as divine prisoner awaiting liberation. This is Manichaeism, and this is consciousness cartography. Before the beginning, before time, before creation, before anything we would recognize as existence, there were two realms, not one, two. The first was the kingdom of light, infinite, peaceful, radiant beyond comprehension. It was ruled by a being called the Father of Greatness, or in some texts, Zurvan, the source of all that is good, all that is true, all that is beautiful. This realm had no conflict, no hunger, no lack. It simply was, perfect, eternal, complete. The second was the kingdom of darkness, not merely an absence of light, but its own positive reality. Chaotic, hungry, violent, churning with demonic forces. It was ruled by the Prince of Darkness, sometimes called Ahriman, a being of insatiable appetite and blind aggression. This realm knew nothing of peace. Its inhabitants devoured each other endlessly, driven by craving they could never satisfy. Here's the crucial point. These two kingdoms did not create each other. Neither came first. They simply existed, eternally, separately. Light above, darkness below, an infinite boundary between them. This is radical dualism, not good and evil as aspects of one reality, but two ultimate realities, forever opposed, forever distinct. For endless ages, they remained apart. The light had no reason to descend. The darkness had no knowledge of what lay above. Until one day, darkness looked up. The demons of the abyss, thrashing in their eternal violence, accidentally rose too high and caught a glimpse of something they had never seen, the light. And in that moment, everything changed. Darkness was seized with an overwhelming hunger. It wanted that light. It wanted to devour it, possess it, consume it. And so, for the first time, darkness invaded light. The Father of Greatness faced a terrible dilemma. He was purely good. He could not fight directly. Violence was not in his nature, but he could not allow darkness to consume his realm. So he emanated a defender. First came the Mother of Life, and from her came a figure called the Primal Man. Not Adam, not a human, but a cosmic warrior, a divine being sent to the boundary to hold back the invasion. The Primal Man descended toward the conflict armed with 5 elements of light: luminous air, luminous wind, luminous light, luminous water, luminous fire. These were his armor, his divine protection. He went down into the darkness to fight, and he lost. The demons of darkness overwhelmed him. They devoured his armor, his 5 elements of light, consuming them into themselves. The Primal Man fell unconscious into the abyss, defeated, his light scattered and swallowed. This is the catastrophe at the heart of Manichaean cosmology. Divine light is now inside darkness. Fragments of God are now trapped within demonic matter. The pure has been mixed with the impure, and this mixture, this contamination, is what we call the physical universe. But the Father of Greatness does not abandon his fallen warrior. He emanates another divine being, the living Spirit, who descends into the abyss and calls out to the unconscious Primal Man. The Primal Man awakens and is rescued, pulled back up toward the light. But his armor, the 5 luminous elements, remain behind, scattered throughout darkness, devoured, trapped. So the living spirit does something remarkable. He doesn't just retreat, he begins to build, using the bodies of defeated demons, using the very substance of darkness itself. He constructs the material universe. The earth is made from demon flesh, the mountains from demon bones, but woven throughout this dark matter are the scattered particles of light that were stolen. The cosmos becomes a machine, a vast apparatus designed for one purpose, the extraction and purification of light. The sun and moon are created as great vessels. The sun is a ship of light that collects purified particles during the day. The moon is a ship that collects at night. As light is freed from matter, it rises, first to the moon, then to the sun, then back to the kingdom of light. The stars are smaller collectors. The entire cosmic system, the rotations, the seasons, the cycles, all of it serves this one function: gathering the light, returning it home. You live inside a cosmic recycling system. The universe is a rescue operation in progress. But the demons of darkness are not passive. They see their stolen light being slowly extracted. They watch the sun and moon carrying away the treasure they devoured. So they devise a counter-strategy, a final trap. They take the remaining particles of light, the most concentrated, the most potent, and they bind them tightly into new forms. Forms that will hold the light more securely. Forms that will generate more prisons automatically. They create Adam and Eve, humanity. You are not an accident of evolution in this cosmology. You are a deliberate construction, a prison designed by demonic forces to concentrate and trap divine light. Your body is made of dark matter, but your soul, the animating spark that makes you conscious, that makes you you, that is a particle of the original divine light, a fragment of God Himself wrapped in demon flesh. And here is the cruel genius of the trap: reproduction. When humans reproduce, the light doesn't escape, it divides. One prison becomes 2. The light is further scattered, further diluted, bound into more and more bodies across generations. Every birth in this view serves darkness. Every act of procreation creates new cages. Sex itself is a tool of the demonic forces, ensuring the light remains trapped and dispersed. This is why the Manichaean priesthood practiced strict celibacy, not out of prudishness, but because they saw reproduction as perpetuating the cosmic catastrophe. You might be wondering, if this is the situation, how do we escape? How does the light get free? This is where the prophet Mani enters the story. Mani was born in 216 CE in Mesopotamia, in what is now Iraq. He grew up in a Jewish Christian baptismal sect, surrounded by religious seeking. But from childhood, he claimed to receive visions from a divine being he called his twin, his heavenly counterpart who revealed the truth of existence to him. At age 24, Mani received his definitive revelation and began to preach. He claimed to be the final prophet in a lineage that included Buddha, Zoroaster, and Jesus. Each of these figures, he said, had brought a partial truth to a specific region. Buddha awakened the East. Zoroaster illuminated Persia. Jesus taught the West. But their teachings had been corrupted over time. Their followers had distorted the message. The full truth had never been given in permanent form. Mani would be different. He called himself the Seal of the Prophets, the last and greatest messenger who would bring the complete and final revelation. And unlike his predecessors, he would write it down himself. He would create his own scriptures, his own artwork, his own organized church. Nothing would be left to chance. Nothing would be corrupted by followers after his death. His teaching was simple at its core. You are light trapped in darkness. Salvation comes through gnosis, through knowledge of your true nature. When you truly know what you are, when you remember that you are divine light imprisoned in matter, liberation begins. But knowledge alone is not enough. You must also live in a way that frees light rather than trapping it further. Mani established 2 classes of followers. The first were the elect, the spiritual elite. They lived lives of radical purity, strict vegetarians, not because killing animals was wrong, but because meat concentrated trapped light, and eating it bound you to the cycle. Celibate, to avoid creating new prisons. Non-violent, they couldn't even harvest vegetables themselves because tearing a plant from the ground released light painfully. The elect wandered and taught, dependent on others to prepare their food so they wouldn't participate directly in the violence of agriculture. They spent their lives in prayer, meditation, and the singing of hymns, practices designed to purify their own light and prepare for its release. The second class were the hearers, lay followers who lived in the world. They could marry, have children, farm, do business. But they supported the elect with food and shelter, observed weekly fasts, confessed their sins regularly, and aspired to be reborn in their next life as elect. It was a graduated system. You could participate at whatever level you were capable of, but the goal was always the same: freeing light from its prison of flesh. When an elect member died, having lived a purified life, their light was released. It rose to the moon, was transferred to the sun, and returned to the kingdom of light. The body, the prison, was discarded. The soul was free. Mani taught for roughly 30 years. His religion spread with remarkable speed across the Roman Empire, Persia, Central Asia, and eventually to China. At its peak, Manichaeism was a genuine world religion, rivaling Christianity, Buddhism, and later Islam. But success brought persecution. The Zoroastrian priests of Persia saw Mani as a threat to their authority. In 274 CE, they convinced the new Persian king to arrest him. Mani was imprisoned, tortured, and executed. According to tradition, his skin was stuffed with straw and hung at the city gates of the capital as a warning to his followers. He was 58 years old. He became a martyr, and his religion only grew stronger. But the persecution never stopped. Christians declared Manichaeism a heresy. Augustine, who had been a Manichaean hearer for 9 years before converting to Christianity, wrote extensively against his former faith. Though scholars argue that Manichaean ideas about evil, matter, and the divided self shaped his Christian theology forever. Muslim rulers persecuted Manichaeans. Chinese emperors banned the religion. By the 14th century, Manichaeism was essentially extinct as an organized faith. But we have not yet discussed the ending of the story. The Manichaean vision extends beyond the present into the final resolution of the cosmic drama. Mani taught that time itself is divided into 3 great epochs. The first epoch is the past, the time before the invasion, when light and darkness existed separately. This is the original state. Perfect division, the light whole and complete, uncontaminated by darkness. The second epoch is the present, the time of mixture. This is where we are now. Light is trapped within darkness. The cosmic struggle is ongoing. The universe exists as a vast machine slowly extracting and returning the scattered light. Humans live and die. The elect purify themselves. The sun and moon carry their cargo of liberated particles. This epoch is defined by tension, by incompleteness, by the ache of light longing to return home. But this epoch will not last forever. The third epoch is the future, the time of final separation. And this is where the Manichaean cosmology reaches its dramatic conclusion. As the cosmic machine continues its work, more and more light is extracted from matter. The universe slowly brightens. The darkness is progressively drained of its stolen treasure. Generation after generation, the elect liberate their light. The sun and moon carry their cargo home. Eventually, a point is reached where most of the light has been recovered. The material world becomes increasingly dim, depleted, exhausted. Then comes the Great Fire. The cosmos itself will be consumed in flames that burn for 1,468 years. This is not punishment. It is purification. The fire releases the final particles of light still trapped in matter. Every last fragment of the divine, no matter how deeply buried, is liberated by the conflagration. The material universe, the entire cosmic machine, is destroyed. It has served its purpose. The rescue operation is complete. The light, fully gathered and purified, returns to its source. The kingdom of light is whole again. Every particle that fell with the primal man, every fragment scattered through billions of years of cosmic process, every soul that was trapped in human flesh, all of it reunited with the Father of greatness. This is the final return of light. Not a single spark is lost. What was broken is made whole. What was scattered is gathered. What was stolen is recovered. And then, the eternal separation. The two kingdoms return to their original state, but now with a crucial difference. They will never touch again. Light and darkness, having been mixed for eons of cosmic time, are now separated forever. A great boundary, a wall, a seal, an impassable gulf, is established between them. The darkness is rolled up like a scroll and bound, not destroyed. Darkness is eternal and cannot be destroyed, but contained, sealed away, prevented from ever again invading the light. The prince of darkness and his demons are imprisoned in a realm that can never again reach what it craves. They are left with themselves, with their hunger that can never be satisfied, their violence that has no victim, their desire that has no object, and the light rests in eternal peace, whole, pure, complete, no longer threatened, no longer divided. All the souls who were trapped are now home. All the suffering is over. This is the Manichaean hope, not an eternal struggle, but an eternal resolution. The war does end. The light does return. Darkness does not win, but neither is it destroyed. It is simply, finally, permanently separated from what it sought to devour. Why does any of this matter today? Manichaeism is gone as an organized religion. Its scriptures were mostly burned. Its followers were killed or converted. Its very name became an insult. To call someone a Manichaean is to accuse them of seeing the world in simplistic black and white terms. But the ideas never died. They survived in Gnostic traditions that see the material world as a trap and the spiritual as true reality. They survived in the Cathars of medieval France, who were slaughtered for beliefs remarkably similar to Mani's. They survived in the Bogomils of the Balkans. They survived, scholars argue, even in Orthodox Christianity, in Augustine's obsession with sin and the divided will, in the persistent sense that flesh is a problem and spirit must escape it. And perhaps they survive in you. Have you ever felt that you don't quite belong here? That your body is somehow not quite you? That there's a light inside you that the world seems designed to dim? Mani would say that feeling is a memory, a fragment of gnosis, a flicker of recognition that you are not matter pretending to have a soul, but a soul trapped in matter, waiting to remember what it truly is. The cosmology may seem alien, demons devouring light, cosmic battles, the universe as extraction machine. We can take it literally or as metaphor, but the core intuition resonates across centuries and cultures. Something divine is caught in something that is not divine, and liberation is possible. The great Manichaean insight is that this liberation is not just individual, but cosmic. Your awakening is not separate from the universe's healing. When you purify your own light, you participate in the purification of all light. When you choose consciousness over unconsciousness, wisdom over ignorance, love over craving, you are advancing the entire cosmic process. You are not a spectator to the war between light and darkness. You are the battlefield, and you are also, potentially, the victory. Mani was killed for this teaching. His skin was displayed as a warning. His followers were hunted for 1,000 years. But here we are, speaking his ideas again, holding them up to the light, asking whether they illuminate something true about the nature of existence. Perhaps the Father of Greatness is still extracting light from darkness. Perhaps the rescue operation continues. Perhaps your very attention in this moment, your consciousness reaching toward understanding, is another particle of light, remembering its way home. The Manichaeans believed that nothing is lost. Every fragment returns. Every soul is saved. The light always wins, not through battle, but through patience, through the slow, steady work of extraction and purification across unimaginable ages of time. And one day, the great fire, and then the eternal separation, and then rest. If you want to continue exploring the great maps of consciousness, the systems of thought that tried to explain what we are, where we came from, and where we're going, subscribe to Consciousness Cartography. Next, we'll explore Gnosticism, the tradition that ran parallel to Manichaeism and shares its vision of divine sparks trapped in a material prison. We'll meet the Demiurge, the flawed creator god who built this world without knowing what he was doing. We'll discover the archons, the rulers who keep us asleep. The map of the invisible landscape is vast. We're just getting started. I'll see you in the next video.